is about a journey that I just recently completed. Something called the Diamond Posse Ride. And I know that there were a number of you that were following our journey on Facebook. Can I see who was following us? It was so fun. It was so fun to know that you guys were kind of watching where we were going and what we were doing. But last year, as I was riding home from the Women in Motorcycling Conference that was in Denver, Colorado, I started thinking about how grateful I was as a woman in the United States of America to be able to jump on my big hog and ride across country, unencumbered by nobody stopping me, nobody shooting at me because I'm not wearing a barca. How lucky are we to live in this country and have this freedom? And what better way is there to enjoy your freedom than on a Harley? You just can't help but love it when you're out there. So I got home, I called one of the girls that I'd met there. Her name is Diva Amy. And I said, Diva, I said, you probably don't even know who I am, but I met you there and I'm trying to figure out how I can get you to go on a ride with me. And I thought she was going to hang up. I was waiting for that click. And she didn't do it. She stayed with me on the phone and she says, well, I always wanted to go on some ride, but I wanted to do it for a reason. And we decided that for our veterans would be a great reason. We wanted to end at the Women in Motorcycling Conference that was being held by Harley-Davidson in Milwaukee, but we decided that we would start at the Center for the Intrepid in San Antonio. We called a few other girls and asked them if they'd like to come along with us and came up with the name Diamond Posse. Now, Diamond Posse wasn't because we think we're kind of bling-bling kind of girls. It was really because we feel as if we've all been forged under pressure, and that's our tagline, is forged under pressure. A diamond starts out like a lump of coal, and then through time, through all that pressure and time, it becomes multifaceted and more beautiful and more valuable. So what we wanted to say to veterans that were coming home and were facing issues as a result of having served us, we wanted to say to them, you know what, on the other side, you're going to be more valuable, a better person, and so that was the idea of the whole Diamond Posse. Now the people that were chosen to go on this ride, and the thing that we did it for was the Fallen Heroes Fund. The Fallen Heroes Fund created something called the Center for the Intrepid, and that's where veterans coming back with lost limbs and burns go to be rehabbed, and they've had over 400 people that they've rehabbed at that facility. One of the really cool things that we felt a connection with as motorcyclists was that if you talked to another group of people, they wouldn't understand. Why would somebody who's lost a limb in war want to go back to being an active service person? Well, don't we know? We understand as motorcyclists why you would want to get back on that motorcycle and ride. So we really felt a connection to those veterans who want to get back to active duty. So we went and toured the facility. They do rock climbing. They have a wave pool where they learn their balance again. They have a 3D room where they learn to walk over rocks with prosthetic limbs. All of those wonderful things. And so we went. That was the place that we wanted to have our ride. Well, it just so happened right about that same time that this concept was being forged that I happened to meet a gal who has become a very dear friend of mine, and she's standing right here in the middle. She calls herself the one-leg blonde. So if you're trying not to look at her leg, don't bother trying not to, it's okay. It's like one of those really cool blinged out features she has. And how many people would have a blinged prosthetic? So I'd like to introduce you to Kat. She lost her leg in a motorcycle crash 4 years ago.
I love to ride, and it just so happens there's somebody here that's really dear to me. One of them picked me up off of the pavement and brought me so they could flight me. He's one of your members, so I'm really grateful. Thank you very much. You know who you are. You guys are awesome. All I wanted to do was ride. The neurosurgeon said, you're not supposed to be alive. And I guess they really didn't understand just how strong-willed I was. skull fractures, fractured wrist, and leg was pretty much gone insane. And it was really a long way back. Traumatic brain injury with short-term memory. It's kind of nice if you want to watch a movie. I can watch it twice. You know, I know today how to appreciate life. I cannot imagine not riding. It is where I have the most peace. It is where I get the most therapy. I absolutely love riding my Harley. And it was awesome when Vicki asked me to join this ride to raise awareness for veterans. I may not be able to understand, you know, how you lost a limb having it blown off, for sure. But I absolutely do understand traumatic brain injury and limb loss and how it totally affects your life. And the life as I know died on that road today, but the life that I have today is better than it's ever been. And I can attest to the fact that sometimes all you have to do is just shut up and ride.
So you just kind of got to hang out with Kat to totally appreciate some of her behavior. How, you know, when she lit up this cigar, that was just before she looked at the film crew. We had a film crew that followed us this whole time, and we had an independent reporter that spent the entire time with us as well, writing for 7 magazines. But she lit up this cigar, and he kind of caught that picture of her. She looks at him, and she goes, "Come on, we're going to go start some trouble."
I didn't know what was happening.
So here's another little example here. We were at Myers-Duren Harley-Davidson in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and Channel 2 was there filming us. And Channel 2 said, "Okay, two, put up your fingers, do 2." And all of the rest of us did this nice little 2, and Kat went, "Oh my God!" right in front of the camera, so you could see her right in the middle, laughing her buns off while she's giving them 2. 2 fingers. So, you know, she says when you get to a certain point, you know, in your life, you just don't care anymore. So she's earned the right to do whatever. So it was really a blast riding with her. And then we had Diva. If you've never ridden with a Diva, you should. She was totally cool. If I had crumbs, she was like wiping the crumbs off me. She was fixing my hat. She was doing all these things. She's, you know, telling us to suck it in, you know, all that kind of stuff. Diva was awesome. If that hat looks familiar to you, Diva made Bret Michaels hats. That's her business. She's made 8 hats for him, and she lives in Arizona. This is the gal that I called after the women's conference because I just had to ride with her. This bike is a magnet. It is fantastic. That's all rhinestones on there, and she's just crazy, funny, great to ride with. She was a breath of fresh air everywhere she went. She'd open her mouth and the room would light up. So it was really fun. The rest of us could get serious sometimes, but not her. So then we had Eldana. She was our token veteran. She was from California, Redondo Beach, California. And she came she's a retired Master Sergeant from the Air Force and wrote a book called The Heart of the Military Woman after coming back from war, being totally disabled by post-traumatic stress. Probably her favorite moment of the ride was when she got to ride behind the New Glory flag bike. And that was just an amazing moment for her, and she deserved all that tribute. Bobby Carlson came from Virginia, and she does the military sport bike training for the Army, the Navy, and the Marines. She couldn't take the time off to ride down there and ride back again afterward, so Kirk, in his generosity, donated